Rock action. Matt, Hutch, want to get us going, please?
Yeah, hey, good morning, Dave. Wonder first off, do you know the format for these two games this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fairly wide open. Both teams obviously would like to outscore the other team and win the game, but probably not the most important thing. Just need to play and see how we can play against somebody else. We're going to play 9 innings. We'll play all nine, no matter what the score is. Um, uh, you know, I think each team will hit 10 probably. They don't want to hit 10, they don't have to, but we've talked about that. And if someone has an injury or example, say you have one of your hitters has a little bit of a hamstring issue, if he gets on base, we can run for him, free substitution, whatever. Not that big a deal. So we'll probably hit 10 and substitute here and there, but um, am I going to play all 20 of our offensive players? I doubt it. But, we're going to get some guys in there. Got 2 days to do it. The other teams, obviously, they're only playing one game, so they're going to throw their guys at us each day, which is going to be a big challenge for us. And then we'll split our guys up. And what I mean by that, maybe the more veteran guys, will mix them up. And yeah, so there you go.
You got Cahill back practicing 2 or 3 weeks ago. How has he looked?
He's looked really good. He's gotten better every day. Not only was it a hand injury, but it was also he wasn't feeling right. He didn't feel right in the Cape. He was starting to get real tired and just felt he didn't feel like himself. And it looks like that when he got here, he might have been at the tail end of mono. That's what they're thinking because he lost weight and strength, a lot of strength, and felt fatigued all the time and went through a lot of tests, but they really didn't quite figure it out. But that's probably the most educated guess is that from a few things that have shown up that he was on the back end of that. And so he's really just getting his strength back. He's only had a few live at bats off pitching, hit some balls hard, got a few hits, and he's looked really good in the outfield. He's gotten a lot better. So he'll be out there tomorrow.
Do you like where your team is health wise? Do you have anyone out this weekend?
Brumbaugh had a little bit of a oblique injury about a week ago, so we thought he was probably done, but it wasn't as bad as we thought. He practiced the last couple of days. Looks like he's going to be available. We've just cut down on his swings in batting practice, things like that. We've had a couple of kids that are sick that missed a day or two, but normal stuff. So yeah, I would have to say, we're in pretty good shape. We're not going to throw Gackle. I haven't thrown him all fall. Souza's not going to play, but he is, taking batting practice with the team now. He's not supposed to hit live pitching, just regular arm pitching, BP, and maybe off a machine where he knows what's coming. And they're coming. He's coming along really well. So I feel pretty good shape.
Okay.
Hutch, go ahead.
Hey, Dave, I'm curious, do you know who you're going to be starting pitchers are for these two scrimmages?
Uh, yeah, probably Gibbler will start one of the games and probably Fisher. I think that's what we're looking at. And yeah, I don't think you'll see anybody go more than 2 innings unless it's just crazy pitch count really low. That would probably be the max.
And is that like just a matter of like those guys have earned it over the course of the fall, or kind of what went into the decision to go with those two guys?
Yeah, I think they both pitched really well. Um, one's a sophomore, one's a junior. But they pitched well. Just want to start the game with maybe someone who's got a little experience.
And I know you were asked about him the other day after the fall classic, but Steele Eves, what specifically has he improved from last year as a freshman to now being a sophomore?
Well, he's always been confident. He's worked extremely hard since the day he walked in here. Everybody knows that. That's in our program. on the stuff. Heavy sink, velocity's up. He probably walked in here throwing 91 a lot, 90, 91, and then he could get it up there 92, 93, 94, but now it just kind of sits at 93. Probably go a little more if he needs to, maybe a lot more, but still got the command and the sink on his fastball, and that's what we like.
Jackson Fuller, go ahead.
Hey Dave, can you kind of give us a peek behind the curtain at maybe what Gackel's fall has been like when not throwing? I mean, what's been the main focus for him?
He's been lifting, he's strong right now, really strong, resting the arm, obviously, but now he's throwing now. He threw a bullpen the other day, not full speed, just 90 miles an hour type bullpen, 88, 91 instead of 95, 96. Just slowly ramping back up. I think it was really good for him, probably good for his, psychic mental part of it, just knowing you get to rest a little bit. And, that's one reason we start early. Even though we know the weather's going to be hot here in September, we start the very first day we were eligible to start per the NCAA rules. And we could finish up as late as next Wednesday, but we'll be done on Saturday with teamwork as far as competition and that. Now we'll get into our strength and conditioning Monday. It'll give us 6 full weeks in there before Thanksgiving, and we'll still do group work and position work, so to speak, a lot of that. But our guys are going to get strong. We'll lift 4 times a week.
I know, obviously Ryder's the man behind the plate, but what have you seen from maybe the guys vying for, when he does need a break or a spell, the 3 guys behind him? How are you feeling about that backup catcher spot right now?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously super important. You never know when your catcher is going to take a foul tip or whatever goes on there. Kleiman is caught the ball pretty well. He throws well. He's got some experience. He's actually hit the ball extremely well this fall. I'll try to get him in some this weekend if possible. And then, Ryder's going to fight me. He's going to want to play every inning, and he's going to want to catch every game. But he's very strong and very tough. But we'll figure out how that works. Rutenbard, he's hit the ball well. He's gotten better with his receiving. His throwing's gotten better. And the other one is Willis, who's coming off an arm surgery last year. He's caught the ball well. We haven't been able to play him a lot back there because of, in scrimmages, you got to be able to throw a little bit, and he's still working that thing out. So that's where we're at.
What makes Brenton Clark just a walk specialist? I mean, I was out there last Friday. I think his first 4 at bats were all walks.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously good discipline, but I mean, pitchers aren't throwing the ball over the plate enough. I mean, what is it about Brenton Clark?
Well, he fouls off pitches, usually stays in the strike zone. He went out and had a really good summer, gained a lot of experience, kind of did what we asked him to do. I think I mentioned that before, bunt, take pitches, try to steal bases, just be a guy that can hit 1, 2 in the order, or maybe in the 9 hole, a second leadoff type guy. But yeah, last weekend, I think he drew 4 walks in a row in one game. And, he hasn't done that every game, but he seems to walk and doesn't get himself out a whole lot. When he's going good, he's not hitting fly balls to the outfield. He's hitting line drives the other way. And, he's got some pull power. He can hit the ball out of the park, but honestly, I don't care if he hits home runs, just want him on base.
And finally, for me, just Micah and Damian, both never really played center field, at least in, a spring college season. What have you seen from those guys out there? Is that a competition maybe you envision going all the way until opening day, kind of like Davlon and JT last year?
I think so. New has been outstanding out there. Like, I've had some great center fielders here over the years, and they can flat out go get it. Both of those guys can go get it, and both of them will challenge the wall. They know how to play once they get to the warning track, and New throws really well. He was an infielder, wanted to play center field, went to the Cape, said, I want to play outfield. He did, ended up being the Cape Player of the Year. had a great summer, played great defense. He's picked it up here as well, and he's even gotten better. And the way you get better in the outfield is during batting practice when you're taking balls off the live bat, not just a fungoed ball out there. And those guys do a great job. And we'd love to have both of them in the lineup because they both can really run. They've done it in the past at the Division I level, and um, we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, there's a lot of competition there in our outfield this year.
All right, Matt, wrap it up.
Yeah, Dave, with Chris Curry, things seem to going really well for him right now. The regional, they're talking about building a new ballpark on campus. Number one, how happy are you for him? And number two, what do you think he's done that's gotten them into a stronger position?
Well, super happy for him. Talked to Chris a couple times in the last 10 days and talked to him throughout the season, off and on. And, we were so close to facing them in game one in Omaha. That would have been unbelievable. I mean, if they would have won that game against LSU, they had the lead early, and obviously it didn't work out. But I mean, how that would have been special, just playing team from your state in the first round in Omaha. But I think he's gotten the program in really, really good shape. Obviously, I mean, they were struggling last year, and the old saying, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And man, they fought it and felt bad for him. And then they got in the tournament, and their conference tournament, they won it. And then they never looked back. I think they started playing like they thought they would more during the season, with who they had and where they are now and where they're going. I mean, they have a lot of players back from last year's team. And matter of fact, they played Ole Miss last weekend and a couple of 6-inning games, and I think they might have outscored them pretty good in one of them. So they're going to be really good. They've got experience, and they do a good job of recruiting and evaluating. And most of their recruiting and evaluating is going to be with kids that are from junior colleges or maybe from the portal, and they're going to sneak a few high school kids through. They're going to develop, and they've done a good job with it. And and then the ballpark, that would be great. They need another ballpark down there. They need their own park and different location, and they deserve it.
Everybody I talk to says Dan Hefner can really teach hitting. From just the perspective of your pitchers facing good hitters this weekend with DBU coming into town, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Dan has a great reputation. He's a great human being, really good baseball coach, and has had a few opportunities to leave there for some teams, maybe even our league, and he stayed there and is happy there, is taking care of him there, and he does have the reputation to be able to elevate hitters, and I think it's going to be a big challenge for our pitchers, and I think that it's going to be a big challenge for our whole team. The way we set this up is we're playing a night game against one team, and then when we get done playing them, they'll leave. DBU will come in Friday night, spend the night, and then they're going to come play us. So, like I said, we're going to have to split our pitching. And you're going to try to put some experience on both days. And then the other thing that I wanted to do with this is that, we could have played another 6 o'clock game. Dan would have been fine with that on Saturday night, but we thought it might be really good for our team to experience night game to day game and see how we handle it. Are we going to be sluggish and be a little tired? Can we handle a team like Dallas Baptist who I'm sure they want to come up here and get after us just like Little Rock does. So I think it's going to be a good learning experience for us as a team, as coaches, as pretty much every day in practices. We're trying to figure out who's going to be out there. But yeah, getting back to Dan, he's done a great job there. And DBU is always offensive, and they play in a real offensive ballpark. If the wind's not blowing or blowing out of the south a little bit, the ball jumps, and they have all turf, and so there's usually runs scored.
What have you thought about Hunter Dietz this fall?
Thought it's been really good. It's been really good for his confidence, just to see his velocity jump up, and when he gets on top of that curveball, it's nasty. And when he's got two pitches going, plus now he's got a third. I mean, he's got conference starter written all over him right now. That's what I see, and good for him. We had a great first couple of weeks his freshman year here in the fall. We were like, wow, this guy's going to be special. And then the injury he had back in high school came back and ended up missing the whole year. Last year, still building it up and down, and you know, went out in summer ball and just got better every weekend. And he's come in here and I think he's made a statement. Hopefully he pitches well this weekend and can build off of that. But his stuff is really good.
And then I got two big picture questions for you. You had a lot of recruits in here for the Notre Dame weekend. Seems like that went really well for you. The 27 class is filling up pretty fast. What have you thought about that? And also A&M, is that another big recruiting weekend coming up?
Yep. Yeah, we had kids in for Notre Dame. I think we had 10 or so, and we've already gotten a few commitments there, and excited about that. Following up on the other guys, they've got to finish taking their visits, and a lot of those kids are juniors, so they don't have to make a decision this year if they don't want. But we'll wait on them for the most part, and then we've had a couple of kids in, and on a weekend we didn't play football, and we got both of those kids, and some kids are all about the football game and all the experience. Some are super serious about the baseball, and they just want to see what you're doing. And it's nice if you can combo both. Maybe get them to see a scrimmage, and at the same time get to see the spirit of the university here in the state when we're playing football and gain that. And then, but yeah, and then A&M. We've got another good sized recruiting class or group coming in, and trying to organize that thing around. At least we have a game time now and we can move around that. And yeah, it never stops. It's just what we do.
And then last week, the game dates and times came out for when you guys play in Arlington. I wonder, now that you've been going there for so many years, does that give you a peace of mind knowing that you can kind of fall back on that weekend in terms of putting together your non-conference schedule and you're not having to look at maybe some of the other places that you had to go to?
Yeah, I like going there. I think it's number one, we know we're going to play and the weather's going to be pretty good. I say that every year, and it's true. We know we're going to play really good teams, whether they're all from the Big 12 or it's a mix of teams. We're getting TCU again, and they play probably double-digit games in there, so it's kind of like a home field advantage for them. And if you can knock them off, you're playing pretty good. Playing the first week in there is a little nerve-wracking for me personally, just because a lot of times you're playing teams that are playing in better weather or getting prepared in better weather than you are. But it's at least you're going to play. Kids are excited, and then we're going to stay over and play a game on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play 4 games down there in 4 days, not play a midweek game here, and then play on the weekend. So, yeah, I think to answer your question, yeah, we build around it a little bit.
Why did you make the decision to stay for that 4th game this year? Because this is the first time you've done that.
Yeah, well, we tried to do it in the past. It didn't work out. We almost had it done last year. A lot of times you travel back from that tournament, you get back late on Sunday night, Monday's an off day, and then you're playing somebody here on Tuesday. You have two issues. You never know how the weather's going to be. Maybe 3 issues. And there's some guys that didn't get to pitch in those 3 games. They're a little fired up that they didn't get to pitch, and we really want to get them out there on Tuesday. We can stay down there. We know we're going to be inside, and we know we're going to get to pitch, 3, 4, 5 more guys. And then sometimes that Tuesday game, after all that travel and the big tournament and all the excitement, you have a little bit of a letdown there and you're a little vulnerable. So we're trying to work it out in the 27 season where we can do it again.
Okay. Thank you.
Coach, thanks for your chat.
Okay, guys. See you.